Let's imagine this, moving from one of the busiest cities in the world where your apartment might be smaller than a garage to the quiet, spacious suburbs in the UK. It's a big change. But along the way, some funny and surprising misconceptions about Hong Kongers pop up. Curious what they are. Are we too direct, too rich to work, or just bad at making small talk? Stay tuned because today I'm busting the top 5 myths British people have about Hong Kongers, and trust me, the reality is far more fascinating than you think. Hello everyone, in today's video I'm diving into a fascinating topic, the top 5 misunderstandings British people often have about Hong Kongers. As a Hong Konger living in the UK, I've heard plenty of comments, some are funny, others are rooted in misconceptions. So let's unpack these myths one by one, backed by cultural context, personal insights, and even some surprising stats. If you're new here, I'm Rachel, the UK BossMaMa. I moved to the UK from Hong Kong a few years ago. If you want to know the reason behind it, please click this video and this may resonate with you. I grew up speaking 6 languages. French is currently my favorite simply because I can't resist French culture. On this channel, I help you overcome the language learning barrier and motivate you to be open-minded to accept different cultures and struggles that come in your life. Please hit the subscribe button now before we jump into our interesting topic today. Are Hong Kongers too direct or impolite? This is a classic case of lost in translation, I would say. In Chinese, especially Cantonese, being direct is a sign of efficiency. You know, Hong Kong is a super fast-paced city. For example, instead of saying, "Please, would you mind closing the window?" we might say, "Close the window, please." In the UK, where politeness is an art form, I know this straightforwardness can come off as impolite, but trust me, it's nothing about being rude, it's about being clear. The cultural difference lies in how communication is framed. In fact, there has been a study by Cambridge University revealed that cultures like those in East Asia prioritize clarity in communications over politeness. So if a Hong Konger seems direct, don't worry, it's just our way of cutting through the fluff. Are Hong Kongers rich and don't need to work? That's really interesting. I promise this is one of the biggest misconceptions. Yes, some Hong Konger who move to the UK can afford to buy properties outright with cash. But it's not because they are rich in the traditional sense, it's because property prices in Hong Kong are insane. For context, the average price of a small apartment in Hong Kong is around 4 million Hong Kong dollars, which is around 500,000 pounds. And we're talking about tiny spaces, often less than 400 square feet, which already included a living room serving as the same purpose of a dining room, plus 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Many people sell their homes in Hong Kong, buy a property in the UK and mostly in the Midlands like Manchester or some of them in the South, and may even buy a second property to rent out for passive income. Well, it sounds pretty decent, right? But here's the reality. Many of these individuals worked tirelessly for decades in Hong Kong's fast-paced environment. What I'm saying is working from 9 AM till probably 9 PM with working overtime, which in general may not be paid, and this is quite common in Hong Kong. Moving to the UK is often a chance to slow down and reflect on what they truly desire and the plan ahead. It's less about being super wealthy, but more about reallocating resources to build a sustainable lifestyle. According to a 2021 study by the UK Home Office, over 65% of BNO visa holders cited quality of life and education as key reason for their move, not career aspiration. I would not say Hong Kongers are wealthy in general, but what I would definitely say is that Hong Kongers are super hardworking and persevere, and many of them are quite good in doing business and finance, which I admire totally from the bottom of my heart. Why do Hong Kongers seem to only hang out with each other? Another comment is that they like to gel together. Are Hong Kongers prefer to isolate themselves? In reality, this is often due to 2 reasons. One is cultural familiarity, and 2 is the lack of confidence in socializing. Say for example, small talk, a British favorite, isn't something we grew up mastering. While British people chat effortlessly about the weather or sports, Hong Kongers may feel awkward or shy. But once you break through that initial barrier, Hong Kongers are some of the warmest people you meet. Additionally, Asians in the UK are a small minority, making making up just about 7% of the population. When we see another Hong Konger, it feels natural to connect because of the shared experiences and language. But that doesn't mean we are closed off to building relationship with others. Like myself, I also got some local friends originally from everywhere in the world. But you know, with Asian faces, there might be Japanese, South Korean, Taiwanese, and Malaysians, which look naturally quite similar but share totally different cultures. Are Hong Kongers the same as Mainland Chinese? Well, this is a question that often sparks strong reactions among Hong Kongers, and it's pretty sensitive. Let me try to make it carefully. While Hong Kong is technically part of China, the cultural, linguistic, and historical differences are quite significant. For example, Hong Kongers primarily speak Cantonese, a tonal language that's quite different from Mandarin. Cantonese also uses traditional Chinese characters, which are more intricate compared to simplified Chinese used in mainland China. Culturally, Hong Kong was a British colony for over 150 years, and this influence is evident in our education system, legal structure, and even pop culture preferences. When I was growing up, we watched more British and American TV shows than those in Mandarin Chinese. This blend of East and West shapes a unique identity that many Hong Kongers hold dear. A research has found that over 70% of respondents identify as Hong Kongers first, not Chinese, reflecting this distinction. Honestly speaking, if you ever try to ask a Hong Konger whether they are Chinese or whether they are from China, interestingly, some of the Hong Kongers might get offended and react immediately by saying that they are from Hong Kong. I have to be clear that I also have a lot of friends and family from mainland China, and I respect different cultures, but these are just the scene that I've seen that Hong Kongers would love to make very clear about this difference. I mean, it's very hard to explain to a person who you just met, as you wouldn't want to be given a lecture about Hong Kong history, and to the British, this may be quite confusing for them. But this is not difficult to understand. Like, try asking a Scottish person whether he or she is a British. Well, you know what I mean. Why do Hong Kongers normally have one child? Unlike mainland China, which had a one-child policy, Hong Kong has no such restriction. However, most families in Hong Kong still choose to have only one child, and the reasons are largely economic. Raising a child in Hong Kong is incredibly expensive. There was a survey conducted by a bank in Hong Kong estimated the cost of raising a child to adulthood at around 5 to 6 million Hong Kong dollar, equivalent to around 500,000 pounds. Add to the fact that most apartments are less than 400 square feet in general, and you can see why families opt to stay small. As I mentioned in my previous video about achieving work and family balance in Hong Kong, both parents typically work full-time to maintain a decent standard of living. For many families, having another child would mean compromising on education, housing, and quality of life. And that's why we normally have only one child or a maximum of 2. So there you have it, the top 5 misconceptions about Hong Konger in the UK. We might come across as direct, wealthy, or quiet, but behind these stereotypes are unique stories shaped by Hong Kong's culture, history, and challenges. Let me know in the comments what surprised you the most and what other topic I should cover about Hong Kongers or multicultural lives in the UK. Apart from language learning, especially in French, I am thinking of producing more video about life as a Hong Konger living in the UK, and there will definitely be a lot more interesting topics coming up. Stay tuned, guys. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!